Guys, welcome back to the channel. You're on Mad on Cars. So today I'm in something new, well, new to me. It's a Ford Fiesta 1 liter turbo, basically the Ecoboost, and it's a 2014 model. So I recently purchased this, in fact not even recent, about 3 months ago, and I just haven't found time to make a video on it. So I got it with mileage of 120,000 kilometers on it, and I bought it in Joburg from my brother's friend, basically. So I was pretty happy that my brother had driven it before and said it was a solid car. But before purchasing this vehicle, I started looking around and I basically started with the Ford Figo, and I asked a couple of people that had an experience with it, and they said it was quite high in fuel consumption. I really couldn't understand why would that car be so high in fuel consumption whilst it's so small. But nonetheless, people complained about it, and the couple that I had seen, they were going for quite cheap, but some of them didn't have such good reports in terms of how can I put it, what you find on the car, like the engine, some had leaks and so on and so on, such things. And bearing in mind, I wanted a car for my wife. Basically, I wanted to buy a car, so hence I wanted something that would be solid. So after that, I looked at the Toyota ATS. Then I found one in Durban, and luckily my brother was attending to a case in Durban, so he went to look at the car and test drove it, and he said it was a used car and it was fairly okay. The only complaint he had was that it looked like one of the wheels, it looked like they hit a curb or something like that. So, but he said other than that, the car drove fine, the alignment was fine. And then I basically spoke to the salesman, and we started the process of purchasing the car. The following day, salesman calls me in the morning, says one of his colleagues just sold it before we could finish up the paperwork. So I lost out on that, and it was back to square one. I was really chuffed because I was really looking for something solid, and again, since it was a Toyota, so I was going to be happy about that. But went back to the drawing board, I searched around, and I really couldn't. I also found a Renault Duster. The reason for looking at the Renault was that it was a diesel. It was a 1.5 diesel, so I was also looking at efficiency of it. And look, I was a bit hesitant at buying a Renault. They're not really known for their reliability, so but when I looked at one, following day it was sold. It had good mileage on it, I think 140 or something like that, but it was cheap. I think it was going for like 76,000 at the time, and it has got good ground clearance. So bearing in mind I live in a village, so I have to travel to work on a daily basis, and hence I basically also looked at the Renault Duster. So I think after about 2 weeks or a week and a half or so, my brother calls me up. He's like, he just spoke to one of his colleagues. His colleague said that he's selling his Ford Fiesta, which he had also bought for his wife, because I wanted to buy a house, so he needed that money. And remember, at the time when I wanted to buy, my budget was maybe like 70 something thousand rands, round about there. Then I stretched it when I saw the ATS to 90,000 rands. Now this Ford Fiesta is coming. The guy says he's selling it, I think, for like 110, if not 111,000, and my budget is, I've stretched it to 90,000. So I asked my brother to speak to him in terms of, can we meet each other halfway. I just stretched it to 100,000, and yeah, we came to a conclusion over there. We made a deal, and I think it was quite a good deal. Look, it's a pre-owned car. It had some minor issues like your, what was the coolant bottle, it needed to be replaced. I think, what else did I have to replace? I think that's all that I really replaced. I just replaced the coolant bottle together with the pipe going to it. I think it was a bit, whoever did the repair on that did a dodgy job, so I just got new stuff and replaced it. And after that, I think it was due for a service, because his wife didn't do much traveling. So I then took it to Ford for servicing, and it was quite cheap, because I only paid 1,850, and the service was done for the 120. I'm now sitting on, I think, 127,000. That's the mileage I'm sitting on, and I got this car again 3 months ago. So I've been doing quite a bit of driving, as well as with my wife whenever she has to do her errands. So why did I get this car whilst we still have the Ranger? The problem is, I started a business last year, a removal business, and also recently, I think beginning of the year, like March or so, I also started a sheep business. So those things get me quite busy, more especially the removal one. So what happens is that at times I have to be out of town, maybe for like 2 days, because I literally just travel all over the country, and my wife has to get to work, my kid has to get to school, and I end up having to hire a car. So it becomes expensive in that manner. And look, the Ranger is becoming a bit expensive in terms of maintenance, but that's just due to the traveling I'm doing, because I'm literally like averaging 50,000 kilometers a year, and my tires just last for like 10 months at best. So since I've got this car, I hardly drive it now. I hardly drive it. I only take it out for whenever I have to do the jobs that I do under the removal business, and it comes in handy in that manner. So I wouldn't really say I'm saving money, but the money that I would have used to purchase new tires, also I wouldn't really be replacing tires more often. Do you get my point? Because I'm not using the Ranger as often as before. So, because when you think about it, when I say it's costing me in terms of maintenance, changing tires before the year ends, look, each tire can go up to 2,500 rands. So replacing all four goes to like 10,000 rands. So that's quite a lot of money. So I'm really hoping, crossing fingers, that it will basically equal out, if I can put it like that, in terms of me driving this car on a daily basis whilst the Ranger is parked, and just using it for business purposes. So that's really the main reason why I in fact got the Ford Fiesta for my wife. And basically we drive in one car to go to work and drop off the kid at school, and it does okay. But the one gripe that I really have with it is the fuel consumption. This thing, I think, is a bit heavy on fuel, and I think that's because it's an automatic, so hence it uses quite a bit of fuel. So that's the only gripe I have with it. Other than that, it's been okay. Look, for now I'm averaging 8 liters per 100 kilometers, of which is, I do that on the Ranger. In fact, the Ranger is about 8.5 liters per 100 kilometers. So that's the only gripe really I have with it. Other than that, it's been a good 3 months with it. So guys, this is the interior of the Ford Fiesta, the 2014 Ford Fiesta. And let's quickly look at the mileage. So I've been averaging about 7.5 for the rest of the day. In the morning I was averaging 8 because I was rushing to work, and now it's got 127 kilometers. So I've done what 7,000 odd kilometers in about 3 months. So this is the trend. What you get on the steering wheel is just the radio settings on it, and that's about it. You don't get any cruise control, and you get your electrical windows for all four windows, and this is the infotainment system of it. It's a sync, that's what they call it in any case. I think it's sync 1, the first edition, when they came out with this whole infotainment system. It's got Bluetooth, and it also has USB and auxiliary next to it. So yeah, also has a tiny cup holder, not cup holder, cabin hole. And yeah, it's quite simple, and again it's a six-speed automatic, which drives nicely. The only gripe I've got with it though is at low speeds it tends to be jerky. You know, when traffic is quite high, and it's basically a bumper to bumper type of traffic, the transmission is quite jerky. But that's all. I don't know whether it's normal or it's faulty. I don't know. But yeah, based on the interior, uh this is basically what you get. And let's just quickly look at the rear. So I couldn't really sit behind myself because of it's quite tiny, eh? It's quite tiny. I really just push the seat quite back when I'm sitting because of my back problems, but when I'm sitting behind my wife, I can fit in nicely. Nice knee room over there. My feet are sitting comfortably, and yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad really. It's just a comfortable ride. It's okay. And you only get one cup holder at the back. Sorry for the mess, guys. I haven't been to the car wash in a while. So guys, this is the boot size. It's about 290 liters if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, it's not the biggest, but it's okay. It can fit most luggage, I should think, for 2 people or so. And yeah, but I just think they could have done a better job of hiding these, for instance, these tools, maybe under the false floor somewhere over there. But other than that, it's decent. Our luggage really fits. Luggage of 3 people will fit just okay. So this is the front end, and because it's a trend, it gets the nice shiny glow. And yeah, I really think it in fact looks nice. It even has daytime running lights, and yeah, that's about it in terms of looks really. And it's got nice alloys on it. They just need a bit of cleaning from the brake dust. And yeah, that's about it in terms of the exterior. It's a nice car. It's a nice car. It's a nice daily car. So guys, in terms of performance, I'm quite happy with this car's performance. It's a 1-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine, and I remember at one point we were like 4 in the car, and it was quite a lengthy trip, and overtaking was okay. You know, I was able to take my chances, and whenever I push the pedal down, it performs. The transmission just kicks down and you feel it moves, unlike what I actually drove a couple of months back. I think about 4 months back or so. It was 1.5 natural aspirated EcoSport, and it was the titanium. The interior was good because it's the top of the range. You get your leather, you get as well as the what's this thing, the cruise control. So look, it was really nice, but the only problem I had with it was really the performance of the car. Since it's a natural aspirated vehicle, look, I love natural aspirated engines, okay, but I just wish to get a bigger capacity engine for performance, obviously. And look, for that car, it's okay around town. When you start driving on longer trips and you're going uphill trying to overtake, it's very sluggish. It's very, very sluggish. You don't want to find yourself overtaking and a truck is coming, you know, so you'll be quite in trouble. So, but when comparing it to this 1-liter Ecoboost engine, look, I'm very happy with it. I literally, overtaking is not a problem. Just put your foot down, it does what you want it to do, you know. So I really think Ford did a good job when they were producing this engine or building it up. And I've only done 7,000 kilometers, so I haven't had any issues on it, and I've only taken it for one service, and it has been quite cheap. So yeah, I'm really hoping it will give me good mileage without having big maintenance bills. And yeah, in terms of performance, again, I'm really happy. Handling, look, this is not a hot hatch or anything like that. You tend to feel it sometimes when you're going on curves at high speeds, that look, you should really be a bit careful on that. And the handling, it's okay, it's not the best handling out there. And the suspension, how can I put it, it's not harsh, but I think because of the 15-inch low profile tires, you really feel bumpy roads, as well as when going through potholes. You know how our roads are, they are the conditions of our roads in South Africa. So I've had a puncture, sidewall puncture once. I think it was because of potholes, and bearing in mind it's a low profile, so obviously that's gonna happen. So besides that, really I'm quite happy with the car. And obviously another advantage about it, it's an automatic, so you tend to relax when you're driving it over a manual transmission. And I'm even thinking the next time I decide to buy another bakkie, it's definitely going to be an automatic, it's definitely going to be an automatic. So yeah, Ford has been good, to me. And I've also had a couple of issues on the Ranger, and Ford Queenstown has sorted those out. I've had them for quite some time, in fact, but we'll do a video on that maybe in a couple of weeks or so, but we'll see. So besides that, performance of this car, excellent. Handling, so obviously, as I said before, it's not a performance, it's not a hot hatch, so obviously the suspension and handling won't be the best. So yeah, that's it when it comes to the performance and handling and suspension and all of that.